I don't want to believe that it was intentional. I don't like that version of the story. I think I've said that before. I am really, really interested in Yiheng's mum's perspective on everything that's been happening recently with sliding, obviously, timer abuse, sliding, the 0.78, and also that that ASR 3x3 single that was DNF'd because he touched it after the solve, which I thought was I personally felt was a bit harsh and was quite a lot after the 0.78 stuff. Not that being disqualified from something makes you immune from being disqualified from other things, if that makes sense. Essentially, what's the mood in the Wang camp? What's the mood with like Yiheng's mom and Yiheng and in China, I suppose, about what's been going on with sliding and everything?
So I think the first thing that I want to say, and it's something that I think you have mentioned in previous CubeCasts, and that a lot of other people have not mentioned. So I want to give kudos to you as well, is that
I'll take it.
there's a lot of perspective here that I think that people have to understand. And that is that Yiheng, especially Yiheng's mom, is a parent and is motivated by parent things.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? It means that she wants her kid to do as well as possible. But it does not mean that she wants to have as much attention as possible on her kid for no reason. And so getting extremely fast solves by cheating is not like the objective of a parent. And I'm sure that that's something that you can understand.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's something that I also can understand. Well, after I broke my world records, I had so much attention, and it was hard on me, but it was even more pressure on my parents, because they have to then deal with all of like the attention from everybody in the community, from the media, and they have to try and juggle all of those things. And that is something that is very much the case for Yiheng's mom, getting a huge amount of pressure from the community, and not really knowing like what to say. And because she knows that absolutely anything that she says, people like won't believe it, they'll nitpick everything. And I think that's very fair for her to feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's some additional perspective here that I also want to talk about. I know that a lot of people have been putting it like Yiheng was, intentionally cheating. Maybe he had a coach that told him like, oh, if you want to get faster, then I don't know, you have to do this specific move, and you try to do sliding to improve your times, and you'll destroy the world record. I don't know if that's like what most people think, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think most people think that it's intentionally bending the rules to try and get faster solves?
I think opinions are probably split. I think opinions are split a bit on it. I think there is belief that it was intentional. I'm not saying that that's necessarily my belief. I don't know. I don't know the kid. I've never spoken to him. I've never spoken to his mom. I've never spoken to his coach. I don't actually have any insight into his motivations whatsoever. When I think about it as a parent, I don't know, actually, is the answer. It's like, did he know that the way he was starting the timer was affecting his times? I don't know that, until I think he probably was made aware that it was affecting his times because of the weight that came down on him. Was it malicious? There's no way of knowing. Was it intentional? Intentional is a better word than malicious, but you know what I mean. Was he doing it because he knew? Was he doing it intentionally because he knew it would get him better times? I don't know that. Nobody does. I don't like to think that about a 9 or 10-year-old boy. I forget how old exactly he is, because my son's 10. So I have a kid who is exactly the same age, and I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, Well, my son's a terrible liar, so he would never be. He's very bad at cheating because he's just an awful liar. But I look at him and I look at his age and I look at how he plays and I look at how he interacts with his mates and everything, and I don't know. I don't think so. I don't want to believe that it was intentional. I don't like that version of the story. I think I've said that before. I don't like the version of the story where he intentionally did it, knowing that it would give him an advantage. So anyway, sorry, you asked that for a reason, and I just talked forever.
Actually, I just want to add a little bit of something, um, kind of related to what you mentioned. So I had an experience a few months ago at a different competition, where Yihang did two by two, and I don't know if if anybody of you remember, but he got a two by two solve that was DNF'd at a competition this spring, because he made a turn in inspection.
Oh, I don't think I did know that one.
I don't know, I don't know if you heard about that,
Nah.
but I was at that competition, and I witnessed how the incident was dealt with. So basically, at that incident, um, he was doing two by two, and then when he picked up the cube, he accidentally, I think, went he like the cube turned a little bit, and it went slightly over 45 degrees, and he just put it back. That was the entire incident, right? And then, of course, that just means that you did a turn inspection. Like he didn't actually do a turn; it just accidentally moved a little bit, went over to 45, and he just brought it back.
Yeah.
Of course, that is like it's a DNF, right? And in that case, after it was done, I think he was kind of, I mean, something everybody has to understand is he is a, he's a 10-year-old kid. I'm sure very similar to your 10-year-old kid. And so at that point, he just didn't, I mean, I think at that point he knew that it wasn't, that there was probably something wrong. But he was pretty nervous about it and didn't want to. And I don't know. I think it's often something that the little kids do. Like if they do something that they think is a bit wrong, like they'll try and hide it.
Yeah, because they don't want to get in trouble. That's what kids are.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And but then after the round, somebody saw in the video that it looked like there was a move that was done in inspection. And so his the first thing that happened is his mom went and asked him about it. And asked if he turned in inspection. And of course, as kids would do, they don't want to get into trouble, right? And so he didn't want to say too much, but he was, I think, kind of like just like your kid, he was very, very bad at trying to hide it. Like it seemed like it was clear that he like didn't want to say it, but he was really bad at it.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the way that every kid is, and he's no different.
Mm.
If there's anything that he does that he thinks might be bad, it would come out very easily.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's one thing. And as soon as his mom found out, she was, I'm sure, as everybody could guess, she was very, very angry
Right.
and saying, and I think that's also the way that she is generally. Like if there is anything that because Ihung is watched so closely by everyone, and there's always video footage.
Yeah.
And last thing that she wants is for him to be found out to be cheating, which I think is kind of funny given the current situation. But it's very, very clear, like from the way that she acts and interacts with him, and from what I've seen, that's the last thing that she wants. She was very, very angry. I think, yeah, about the fact that he didn't immediately come out about it.
Mm.
And
I
that
can
is something
understand
that
that.
she said many times. Yeah, like saying, if there's anything that you think might have been wrong, the first thing that you have to do is you have to tell people about it. You have to like be honest and be clean, and that's something that she that she said many times, and try to make it as clear as possible that you know even if you think that you can hide it, it won't be possible because everybody is looking at your videos, and you're the cuber you're the cuber in the world that people are looking at the most, right? And that was in March, so this is way before the sliding incident, and that was already like a stance that they had, or that especially that his mom had, and you have to be very, very careful. You can't do anything wrong because people will find out.
Mm. Yeah, and I can get that because that's her trying to protect him from the internet and the community at large. Like I as a, you know, as a, from with context as being a parent, I get that. It's just like you can't, because we're trying to teach our kids that cheating is wrong, always. And I believe that she believes that. From my limited understanding of her, she believes that cheating is wrong. She also has a good understanding of how closely he's being watched. And
also regarding rules. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, in his little scared little 10-year-old head, he moved and he went, whoops. And then he went, am I okay? I think I'm good. Okay. Phew. I'm not getting in trouble. I don't think he was like, psych, I did a move in inspection. That's very different. It wasn't like, oh, if I just do this one move, I'll get away with it. Because he moved it and moved it back. And I'm not getting involved in a regs discussion.
Slightly over, and yeah. And like he probably wasn't completely sure himself if it went over 45 or not. In that particular incident that I'm talking about.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you want to see more. I stream once a week and I release videos pretty much every day. Also use code CUBECAST to save 5% at speedcubeshop.com, Cubing Life Academy, speedcube.nz, lastlayercubing.com. Have fun, solve cubes, and I'll catch you in the next one.